Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab. What I do for you. I got something nice for you today because I put my little sage hat on to let you know I'm about to do some work. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. I put a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practiced daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical. But if you're not answering for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to Maya, be true. Right thinkers. Let's talk about. So you want God to hear you. And that's cool. But do you hear God when he's trying to talk to you? Let's talk about that. See if you're on the right side of getting God messages or just on the wrong side and hoping and wishing or believing. Right thing, let's talk about. So you want God to hear you, but do you hear God when he talks to you? God is your consciousness within inside here. He gives you spirit that's from here. See where I'm going with this? It's called heart mind coherence. I coined that phrase. So yeah, you might not know it from nowhere else, but that's mine. God is consciousness. And it's all mental. But you can know God with what? Daily practice of meditation. That's the connection to your higher self, aka God. Why you think the Buddhist monk and the Hindu priest, they all sit and meditate? They getting in touch with God. They receiving information from God. And most people who Christians and whatever y'all are, religious followers, when y'all hit the spirit, when the spirit hits you, you go to talking in tongues, you go to going on into the crazy. That's the spirit. Everybody deals with it different, but that's the concept. But God is within man. And man's goal or job should be to find that out for him or herself. My job is to help you do just that. I did, so I'm trying to help you do the same thing. That's it. That's all I got. That inner conversation, and my man KRS did the best. In your mind, say something. Don't say it, but just say it in your mind. Okay, if you're saying it, do you hear it? Who's saying it and who's listening? Perfect example. It's two things going on. That's the heart mind coherence. When they work as one, you got the concept. You understand or you know yourself. And you have with yourself who's listening and who's talking. That's what I just made the concept, the point. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's two things going on. You got a physical body, then you got the spiritual body. Waking consciousness, subconsciousness, and you got the unconsciousness. Okay? That's all mental. That's the whole idea. And when you listen to God, only time you can listen to God, what? Your higher conscious is when what? Still yourself or in meditation. In your sleep. A lot of people, if you're not a meditator, then God taught you in your sleeps or your dreams. God trying to get a message to me, yeah, because he can't get you no other time. And you ain't putting in the meditation time. So you caught up in dream world thinking, well, he's saying this because somebody read my dreams. No, you need to understand it. It's yours. Moving on. Everything you got, you need is inside you. Don't go outside yourself to get what you need within yourself. That's the first thing. Know thyself. Your heart is where God dwells. I'm trying to make this point clear to you. Your mind is what he gives you to become what? Conscious of him and who you really are. A lot of us think coming to the physical world, pleasures and the ego ride and how you're going to get rich and famous, do all this some crazy nonsense. But at the time of death, when the physical body runs out, it's called a judgment. You're going to be judged by how you live this life. And if you didn't live it right, you'll be back again. That's called reincarnation. We've been knowing that since forever. Moving on, but the idea is to communicate with your higher self, aka God, make the connection, and then you personally will live according to what you think is best for you. Not what I say, not what, no, just you. You're made in the image of God. That means you can create your image any way you want. That's free will. So you can follow whatever philosophy you want, whatever belief system you want. Oh, that's fine. But just do it. Talking to God is called prayer. Yeah. Oh God, will you pray? Oh God, yeah. But who you talking to then? You going outside yourself, asking for somebody outside of you to help you? Really? That don't make much sense. So if you have a misinterpretation and misunderstanding about who and how you are, you just lost from the rip. So we all pray. Yeah, and that's us what? Talking to our higher self. A lot of people say God. That means you're asking for something for somebody else or for yourself, which is fine. But who are you talking to? That's the question. And if you are ignorant of your higher self, you won't know the answer to that question for yourself. I think the prayer. I don't verbally talk out loud, but I'm praying. Why is that? Because what's inside of me is hearing, not what's outside of me. That makes sense? I'm praying to my higher self. He's inside here. He ain't out here in hearing range, so I don't have to verbally say it, and people don't seem to understand that, but I'll keep spraying that to you. My thoughts go to my heart. That's where God dwells. So I get the message straight to him. Preachers do it their way. I understand. I do it my way. And that's how what? God hears my prayers. From my mind to my heart. Okay? I think it. I pray for all those who I like, respect, and know daily. Don't hurt me to pray for them. Okay? Alright? But again, you speak to God from your heart and your mind. And that's what? Being God conscious. You're conscious of God. You think you're talking. Again, you got to think you're talking to a higher self, but do you really know him? Do you know that you and him are one? That he dwells inside you. Those are things that if you knew that, it's easier to pray, it's easier to meditate. Why? Because you know what you're doing. You're becoming one with your higher self, aka God. I ain't into the preaching thing. But I need you to understand God is mental. So it ain't all how the words you put together. No, it's about you understanding what you need to do to get his attention. Righteous living, spiritual discipline. Hold yourself accountable to do what? What's right. You can pray, a.k.a. you can talk to God till the cows come in. But what happens? Without good deeds, actions, a.k.a. WRIGHT, he won't hear a word you say. Okay? Ignorance falls on deaf ears. God wants intellect. He don't want ignorance. So if you think you can just pray and all of a sudden God going to answer your prayer and you don't do nothing, yeah, I say it. Prayers without works is dead. So that's what y'all say. I believe the same concept. So I'm not arguing that philosophy. Like I said, some of y'all dogma I can go with. It's just something I can't. Simple as that. I'm not going to just go, no. Trust me. I'm selective too. All right. Now, your pastor, he can put your situation in prayer. We're on the prayer line every week for that ancestral prayer. We all get together and we pray. Okay, he'll do that. But he ain't the one living the deeds and action that you need to do to get your prayers answered. He's just throwing them up there. He's putting them out there. Your job is to put the work in for it to be answered by your God, supposedly. Okay? Again, action. Prayer, asking. Actions, no rewards. Okay? You done put nothing out, you can't get nothing back. You can't go to the bank that you ain't put no money in and get money out. Moving on. So if you got your own account with God, then y'all should be working that out between the two of y'all. If you worry about somebody validating your belief in God, your faith in God, you just a damn fool. Okay? God, what somebody think and believe about what your faith in God is should have no bearing at all. But if you want to be with everybody, yeah, well, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, knock yourself out. But that means nothing if you ain't living it. Moving on. Listening to God. There you go. How you listen to God? That little thing we got called the pineal gland, okay, in our head, that's what God transmits to us. If you get the higher understanding, that's what it's for. And all your ancients all knew that. The pineal gland, the pine cone, they know all of that. The Anunnaki, the Vatican, everybody go. So I know what they got. I know where they got it from. Listening to God is what you need to understand. We call that meditation. Why do you think they meditate? They're getting information. Download it. I do it every day. I heard God's voice now about 15 years ago. And again, I can explain to you, God is mental. Every individual person will experience God different. It's the same God, same concept, but everybody's going to have their own experience. And that's the beauty of it. That's the best part about it. Okay? And his voice for me was in the voice of Vince Lombardi, something I can relate to, something that got my attention. So it all made sense after I started putting my work in. When it first happened, I'm freaking out. What the hell, Vince Lombardi talking to me about? Really? Vince Lombardi? Okay. But it all made sense as I studied and got better. Yeah, psychologically, that's how God works within yourself. Every individual is going to be different. Moving on. But I heard his voice. And where? The heart and my mind. And at that time, I was given what I thought was a job. Yeah, I work for God. Do what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing this for God. Don't ask me why. I don't have an answer. Moving on. Do you? What drives you to do what you do for others that you want nothing for? That's God. Okay, that's my concept. If you got another one, okay, knock yourself out, but that's mine. I'm driven spiritually and mentally by my higher self, a.k.a. God, to what? To do what I do for you daily. I can't explain it. Ain't trying to. Just when you know it. Moving on. But when I meditate, personally, I'm speaking for myself now. When I meditate, I hear God's voice in the voice of Vince Lombardi. Simple as that, in my mind. And that ain't changed since the day one. And I could care less what you think or feel about that. Don't move me in a bit. And for you to think that nobody knows God or the truth, you're an a-hole. Just because you don't know, don't mean nobody else knows. So if you pushing the dynamic that, well, nobody knows the truth, stop pushing that dynamic. Why? Because you're wrong. That's obvious. Moving on. So just want to get that out there. Now, let your conscious, meaning your heart, mind, be your God. If what is it's telling you to do, not your desire. No, not your desire. What you know, no, get that. Don't mean jack. But when something's compelling you to do something, okay, that's your heart, mind being your God, guiding you, and what you should do. It will never lead you wrong. So you should follow it. Let your conscience be your God. Why? It ain't never gonna lead you wrong. Duh. I've heard people say, right thinking works whenever I use it. That's the idea. Just use it all the time. And if you ain't thinking that, then you ain't really right thinking. Moving on. But when you know thyself, again, my goal is to get you to know you. When you know you also will hear God's voice, okay, in your ears, in your heart and mind, when daily. He don't just stop by every now and then. No, he's there all the time. All you got to do is make the connection. Not just on Sunday, not just on Wednesday in the prayer line, but if you're living a God-conscious, God-fearing, whatever you want to call it, how you want, good Christian, Muslim, whatever, just if you live it right, doing the things you need to do, you'll be blessed with just that. I just said, if you do just that, trust me. Now, obeying God, Again, doing just that is doing just that. What? The right thing. In order for you to receive God's blessing, that's what you have to do. Oh, you think I'm lucky? No. God don't deal in luck. You don't do that. Luck is luck. Blessings is blessing because you earned them. God will bless all those who what? Who live by his laws and rules. When? Daily. Brother Clark, no exceptions. He could care less what you call yourself. He could care less how you dress. He could care less all that, whatever it is. But if you live and doing and being righteous, you will earn your blessings. So that's the name of the game I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm not here to tell you who to be or what you be. No, just do what God wants you to do. Why? He sets the rules. Play by his rules. Now, by living right, which is by God's rules, and offering what? A daily selfless service to the needy, you will be rewarded for that. Now, if you're helping the ones who need it, that's where it's intended. You preaching to the greedy is a waste of time. Moving on. I don't try to brainwash nobody with nothing. Your dogma, I try to teach you with what? Self-knowledge, so you can do it for yourself. I'm giving you opportunity to do what you need to do for yourself. I ain't telling you what to do. Okay, understand that. So that's not me telling you, do this, no. You do what works for you, understand the rules, abide by them, and you'll benefit from them. Simple as that. You break them, you be the beneficiary of what? Paying the price for what? Your transgressions. Simple as that. You can't do wrong and think you can get away. You do right, you get blessed. You do wrong, you get punished. No exceptions again. Moving on. That's rule for everybody. It ain't my rule. I didn't make it up. I just abide by him. Now, again, God only speak to those who what? Who can hear his voice where? In their hearts. If this is focused on everything but that, they won't make the connection. They'll always be out of sync. The heart wants what it wants, the mind wants what it wants, because they think and feel, and it's all discombobulated. There's no harmony. There's no balance. Okay, in your life. And a lot of people don't have a clue about that. So again, I'm here to enlighten, not to brainwash or nonsense. No, get you to understand what you need to do for yourself. I have my personal daily conversation with God, the God of my understanding. I don't call him Allah. I ain't call him Ishkabible, Yahweh, any damn body else. Okay, the God of my understanding, right there. That's my God. So whatever gods you manufacture in your mind, that means nothing to me. Okay? I can justify mine. Created me, sustained me, gave me what I need to sustain myself. Now that he's gone, now I'm good to go. In his image. Moving on. That's God. This other God that y'all want, this universal God, that's what it is. Universal for everybody. But the individual God is your damn parents. Your mother and your father. God and Goddess. One can't exist without the other. Neither one could have created you without the other. Moving on. That's so simple. We keep playing this old nonsense game. Oh, I want this God. Man, stop. Sorry. Let me wrap it up again. I see the clock. Let me get this thing out. Now, again, for my daily lessons, I talk to him every day. Simple as that. And wrapping it up. When God talks back, I listen. And I obey. Why? Because when I talk to God and ask for something, he listens and he delivers. Can you say that about your God? Whoever she or he may be? Simple as that. Moving on. God only speaks to those who what? Still, a.k.a. meditate on him daily and live accordingly. Simple as that. Ain't no other way. When Christ said, I know, I agree with that. Why? You don't get to God no other way. You can't get attention no other way. He see all, he know all. So what you think you're doing don't make a difference. Moving on. If it ain't right, it won't get dealt with in that manner. Meaning blessed. If what you're doing is good in his sight, you receive blessings for that. If you don't receive a blessing, who is it? Karma. That's what you're going to get. Moving on. That's the opposite of the blessing. Let's go. Now, my faith has been strengthened. Why? Because of the results of what? my blessings that God bestowed on me for doing what I thought I should be doing, and I got rewarded for that. So I'm stronger in my faith, not my belief. My faith is knowing if I do this, that's going to happen. Why? It already had. I continue doing the same thing. Luck, you can't predict luck. I can predict my blessings. Why? I earned them. I'm controller of that. That's knowing thyself. And because I have my own experience with God and understanding power, you can't tell me otherwise. I'm not here to try to convince you about me and God. And because you have a different perspective, that's your right, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you live and doing and being and getting your blessings from God, hey, God's blessing you. Simple as that. But to tell me, well, I'm wrong because that ain't, I would never tell you wrong. I never do that. Moving on. But if you assume something about me, I can tell you something about me, how wrong you are. Moving on. And some idiot stuff you say, I can listen and hear how wrong you are. Moving on. You have to experience God for yourself. Everybody. No exceptions. Why? Because it's the best teacher. Experiencing God for yourself. Gonna be anybody, any preacher, any guru, anybody. Why? You have your own experience. That's what God is there for you to experience Him for yourself. We teachers and help you get to Him. That's my thing is to get you to Him for yourself. I got my own experience. I know how to get to Him for myself. I'm trying to help you have your own way for yourself. Wrapping it up again. God has proven His presence where? In me. And in the world. Why? I know nature. I see all that. I know that. So now I got a total full understanding of God. I know thyself. Do you? Hope you enjoyed the lesson. My point was to get you to know God for yourself. It ain't about what somebody else say and what you believe. It's about what you know. And knowing thyself is knowing God for yourself. That's the lesson. In closing, right thinkers. Me, you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I know my right thinkers who knew themselves have passed away. And we don't die. Remember, we multiply.